Timirandasya Gyanananasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gaurave Gaurachandra Rahatikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namo. Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj, our Ananda Vadan Prabhu, he reminded me of a phrase from Sri Daswami, Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dev Maharaj. All fear stems from the forgetfulness of our common guardian. So anytime we have anxiety, anytime we have some disturbance in life, it's because we've forgotten Krishna. And so there's just a couple of points. There's so much we could say, but I just want to touch on a couple of things about this pastime of Giriraj Goverdharn. So it was Dipavali on the Amavasya, the dark moon night, and then so the day before that, Krishna saw Nanda Maharaj and so many of the elder village people so busy. And so he approached them and he said, "Oh, what are you doing, Peter Street?" And then he learned, "Oh, we're doing one yagya to Indra." And then Krishna inquired, "Oh, is this a Vedic yagya or is it Lokik niti? Is it some injunction that's just come about by tradition?" Because the Vedic injunctions, they are for our purification, but sometimes some tradition comes about just by family history, these kinds of things. So then, rather ashamed, Nanda Maharaj admitted, "Oh, actually this is not Vedic, this is Lokik. It's just arisen from some worldly circumstance." So then Krishna presented so many counter-arguments, and each one of these counter-arguments is one aspect of the Saddarshans, the 6 classical schools of Indian philosophy. And finally getting to the 6th element, and that is Vedanta. Because Vedanta defeats all the previous ones. So, as our Ananda Vadan Prabhu was saying, Krishna convinced all the villagers to engage in the worship of Giriraj Goverdharn. So, that was on the day before Dipavali, on the Amavasya, and then on the Pratipada, they done this worship to Giriraj Goverdharn. And all the villagers came there and they had mountains of rice with waterfalls of ghee and so much sweets and everything they were offering to Giriraj Goverdharn. And so Krishna had manifested 2 forms. One is Giriraj Goverdharn, and then his original form as this small 7-year-old boy. And as we heard, on his left hand, he lifted a mountain for 7 days on his finger. So sometimes some people think, "Oh, I am God. I've just forgotten I'm God." But can you lift a mountain on your little finger? Raise your hand if you can lift a mountain. Oh, God's not in the room. Oh, yes, he is. He's over there on the altar. And only he can lift a mountain on his little finger. So, Param Gurudev, he says, how many days did Krishna lift the mountain? 7. So this 7 days, Krishna's Leelas, they have so many intricate meanings. So also this 7 days, it represents something. In the Mahapuranas, there are 10 categories that are described, such as Srishti, creation, the Pralaya, the devastation, the Manus, the Manvantaras, reigns of great kings and certain personalities. And 9 of these topics are simply to point towards the Sarva Ashray, the 10th topic. So the 10th topic of the Bhagavad Purana is the Sarva Ashray. Who is the Sarva Ashray? Ashray means shelter. Like sometimes you go to the ashram, it's a place where you take shelter from busy happenings of the material world, and you can cultivate your spiritual consciousness. So that place where everything else finds shelter, like Ananda the Dharma was saying, all the demigods such as Indra had become very puffed up, but he was forgetting that his power ultimately comes from Krishna, because Krishna is the final cause. So what's the necessity to do all this worship to the demigods, thinking that they are independent of that supreme personality of reality, Krishna? So if you have that favour of Krishna, then you have all auspiciousness can come in your life. So Parama Gurudev, he says that there are 7 things that we take shelter of in this world. Krishna lifted Giriraj Goverdharn for 7 days, and each one represents defeating one of the 7 categories that we take shelter of in this world. So what are some categories, what are some things we take shelter of in this life? Take a moment to think about it.
Materially? Money?
Money. Money, 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 brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey, Guru Govinda Maharaj used to say. You know, some people think, if I'm really ugly, but I have money, it's okay. You know, you see some old man in his 60s, ugly as sin, but he's got some 20-year-old girlfriend, right? Why? Because he's a millionaire. And if you're not so smart, it doesn't matter. You can influence smart people to work for you if only you have money. So money, money, money. Yeah, everything can come from money. So this is one thing we try to take shelter of, money. Well, what is another thing?
Power. Power.
Education. My own intelligence. My own learning. Oh, if I'm endowed with some clever learning ability, oh yes, I'm very smart. But what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do with his commentary on the Nyaya Sastra? He took it and he threw it in the Ganga. Dakaha Pristana. Logic has no foundation, because the ultimate reality is adokshit, beyond your sense perception. And logic is based on inference, sense perception. So your logic can only take you so far, but you cannot realize the supreme reality just through your logic. So this is another thing we take shelter of. But Krishna lifted for 7 days, so he defeated that one. What's another one? That's 2.
Family and friends.
Family and friends. Oh, my kids will look after me. I have to get up 2 o'clock in the morning, feed them, go to work, look after them. But when I'm older, they'll look after me. You know, there was one young lady in the United States. She sued her family because she was actually coming from quite a wealthy family, and the family bought her a house. But she wasn't happy because the house wasn't big enough for her. So then she sued her parents because, and her reasons were, it wasn't my choice to be born. So because you chose to have me, then you need to provide for me. And you do need to provide for me a bigger house. And she won the court case. Because, you know, this is a very limited point of view, but she was saying, it wasn't my choice to be born. We can understand from karma, actually, she did make the choice. But so, family, that's 3. 4 left. What's the other things we take shelter of? Fame. Yes, power. Like strength, my own position, my own influence in society. If I can become very, very powerful, respected, yes. What else?
Addiction. Addiction.
Addiction? Yes, I would say that we can be addicted to all 7 of these things. So, beauty, Sharia, the body. Oh, I have a very beautiful body. I'll paste it all over the internet. I can make millions just of posting pictures of myself these days. Don't even have to go to work, you know? Only fans. So, that's another thing we take shelter of. And one more. can just buy a property in the country and get away far from everything, that'll be my shelter. So property is another one that we try to take shelter of. So what is it? Property, the body, family, children. Oh, one more. Friends. My friends will look after me. But all material relationships are transactional. You're friends now, but now I believe this, or now I'm going to do something that doesn't fit with the value system of my friends. I'm not friends anymore. It's not. This is not true friendship, actually. We only have one true friend. Who's that? He's there in the heart. Oham Pravistat Atmanohi. So education, strength. Krishna defeated all of these by lifting Giriraj Goverdharn for 7 days. So just by hearing about the pastimes of Krishna, they have such shakti, such strength. A whole internal psychological operation is going on. These aren't just nice, fantastical stories. Just by hearing the pastimes of Krishna, all of the anarthas, all of the unwanted things in the heart can be purified. But we have to hear these pastimes from the lips of sadhu, the lips of guru. So very fortunate for some of us in this room, we are under the guidance of sadhu. We have heard, we've been in association, and we're aspiring to serve the lotus feet of Guru. And by hearing the Harikatha from them, very, very nicely, Bhajana Kriya Nata Nivriti, all the cleansing of the heart can take place. Because Anartha, Artha means wealth, but Anartha, that which has no ultimate wealth. We are pursuing so many things that have no ultimate welfare for us. They will all just disappear in that ephemeral time. So we want to take shelter at the lotus feet of the son of Nanda Maharaj, that is Krishna. So Indra, after this big festival, because they fed Giriraj Govardhan, and then they done arti to him, and then after that they done parikram. They went around the mountain of Giriraj Govardhan. So we can follow in the footsteps of the Rajvasis later doing that. And Indra, he had an earache, so then he called the Ashwini Kumars, the celestial physicians, and what is this problem? Oh, it's because down on Earth planet they're doing this big puja to the mountain. And perhaps you know that Indra, he had a long-standing enmity towards the mountains, because mountains, they used to fly. But when mountains would land, it would create a big commotion. So Indra, becoming very displeased with the mountains, he used his Vajra, his thunderbolt weapon, and cut off all of the wings of the mountains. So anyway, this is a long pastime, I won't go too much into that. One thing I just want to touch upon, as Ananda Vedant has also mentioned, that this is the month of Kartik. So in this month of Kartik, this is Radharani's month. This is the goddess's month. Very, very powerful. So every day, the devotees, they are singing Damodaras-takam, offering ghee to baby Krishna, bound, Damodar, bound by, Krishna is Ajit. He cannot be conquered. But he's also Premadeen. He can be conquered. But how can he be conquered? By one thing. What is that?
Love.
Love, Premadeen. So Krishna was bound by the ropes of affection of Mother Yashoda. His heart melted and he allowed himself to be bound by Mother Yashoda's affection. And so in the prayers of Satyavat Rishi, very, very nice. I just want to touch on a couple of these verses. is very, very profound. So every day during the month of Kartik, the devotees all around the world, they are singing these prayers. Namarishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gulibrajamanam. I worship the Supreme Controller. So first of all, we have to understand that Krishna is the Sada Ashray. He's the final cause. You can't just jump ahead and try to artificially cultivate this relationship with this nice blue guy. You have to understand that he is the personality of reality. All the devatas are all serving Krishna. He is the final cause, the necessary being. The full stop stops with Krishna. But we don't want our vision to be eclipsed by the worship of Krishna as some kind of metaphysical principle. Because when our vision of Krishna is eclipsed by knowledge of his Bhagavata, of his Godhood, then we can never enter into a true understanding of who actually is Krishna. So first, Satyavat Rishi, he is showing us, first take shelter of Krishna, understand, he is the final cause. And Namaha, I give up I and mine, my own ego, my own intelligence, my own ability to think I know. And as Ananda Vedanta was saying, in our line, humility is highly prized, which is the complete reversal of the material situation. Oh, I am very intelligent, step by step, I can build my own pathway and elevate myself. Self-elevationism. But actually, in the Vedic tradition, knowledge is descending, it comes down to us. And the more humble we are, the more we can receive. And a sign of having pure love is you think, I have no love at all. This is how Radharani is thinking. But we're thinking, oh, I love my children, I love my family, and look at what I've done, I just done the dishes, oh, you should be so grateful, you should do this, you should do that. That's not love. The Vedic paradigm doesn't say that, isn't it? So, the selfless love, something very high and unnatural to our material contamination. But going further into the prayers of Satyavat Rishi, actually there's one prayer from one poet of Braja, and his name was Rasakan. And Rasakan, he was saying, I wanted to know Parabrahma, the supreme truth, and I wandered here and there. And people told me so many things. Oh, he is the creator, he is this, he is that. And then he was wandering around Brajmandal. Rasakan Samadhi is in Brajmandal, very nice place, you can go there. His poetry is amazing. And so he arrived at Sevakunj. And what's Krishna doing in Sevakunj? Anyone know? It's kind of in the name. Seva. Parabrahma is doing seva. Quite astonishing. Not a very big image, but so this is actually in Sringara, but in Sevakunj, Rasakan, he realized, oh, Parabrahma, the supreme creator, whose millions and millions of universes emanate from the pores of his skin as his manifestation as Mahavishnu. He's massaging the feet of Radharani. That is Parabrahma. That's Krishna. So, Damodar, this is the month of Damodar. But this Damodar Lila being bound by Mother Yashoda, this is not the crescendo of Damodar. because that crescendo comes in the last verse of Damodar Astakam, because he is going through step by step. Next year we should go into this in great detail. But Satyavrat Rishi, he's saying, I don't want to have liberation. No, I don't want to take residence in Vaikuntha. I just want to see this sweet human-like form of you in my heart again and again. What use of any other benediction is there than this? And so Satyavrat Rishi, he was doing deep bhajan and realizing one verse, and then for thousands of years doing bhajan and another verse would come, and then towards the end of his realization here, Namastestu Dhamane Spuraditi Dhamane Todara Yatha Viskaya Dhamane Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye. He saw Radharani, the complete Shakti of Bhagavan. And so Krishna, he's bound by the love of Mother Yashoda. But where did Srila Prabhupada spend from 1959 until he came to the West? Where in Vrindavan? Radha Damodar. What's Radha Damodar? What does it mean? Radha Damodar. But what does Radha Damodar mean? What does Damodar mean? Bound. So Krishna was bound by the affection of Mother Yashoda, and then Nanda Baba came along later and tried to untie him, but it was quite difficult for Nanda Baba to untie little Krishna, because the love of the mother is usually stronger than the love of the father. So he really had to put in some effort to untie the rope. But who has the most love for Krishna? Radharani. So Krishna is Premadin. He is bound most by Srimati Radhika. Srila Prabhupada spent 6 years there, in that place where Krishna is completely bound by the love of Radhika. And then he brought that to the West. That's what he's sharing with us. This is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Very, very profound. So, Krishna's pleasure, potency, Haladini Shakti, that is, the embodiment of that is Srimati Radharani. So when Rasakan, he is realizing in Sivakunj, oh, Pala Brahma, he's massaging the feet of Srimati Radhika. But who is Srimati Radhika? His pleasure potency personified. And by serving her, he gets the most pleasure. And Radharani also, by serving Krishna, she gets the most pleasure. So this is Radha Damodar. Very magnificent. So this is Radharani's month. So we'll also sing one other bhajan from the one tantra. It's from one tantra, and it's the prayers of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, he is singing Kadakadashisihamam Kripa Kataksha Brajanam. When will I be a merciful recipient of that sidelong glance of Radharani? Because Radharani is also devotion. So we want to make some endeavour in this short time that is left of Kartik until the 5th of November to the Purnima. Try to chant every day. Try to offer a ghee like Damodar. Like Ananda Vedanta saying, Patram Pusham Phalam, just offer a flower, a fruit. Offer with love something to Krishna. And Krishna will come running. And even though he's a jeet, he cannot be conquered. If you have love, he will be bound in your heart and he will never escape. This is Krishna consciousness. This is what our acharyas are giving. beyond the majesty and the awe and reverence, to have this Narava, human-like relationship with Parabrahma, the supreme reality, running in Vrindavan in bare feet, running from his mother because he's about to get some discipline. This is Parabrahma. This is Krishna consciousness. And that Krishna, he is bound by the sidelong glances of Srimati Radharani. Giriraj Goverdharn ki jai. So now we will do bhajan, offer the ghee lamps to Damodar. We'll sing Damodar Astakam, and then we'll do Radhika Dastaksharaj, and then we'll do a little parikrama around Giriraj Govardhan. And you can think about the eternal residents of Vrindavan doing their circumambulation around Giriraj Govardhan, because that is our true home, the spiritual world in Vrindavan. We may not realize it now, but coming here tonight, we're getting some sukriti, some credit in our spiritual bank account. And then gradually we can realize, oh, I am an eternal soul and I have a relationship with that supreme reality. And that supreme reality, that is Krishna in Vrindavan. Thank you very much for giving me some opportunity to purify myself. Vanchakaptara Vishya Kripala Sindhu Devacha Patitina Bhavana Buddha Vishnu Guru Namo Namo.